So, I just had a dream that I was back in a elementary school class, and we were having some sort of nutrition lesson. I don't remember who the teacher was, but I believe it was probably supposed to be someone I actually used to have our teacher, and we were going to approach the topic of eating meat. And they knew that only me and one other person did not eat meat. And I kept on raising my hand at a few points, but it was always like in the middle of someone else talking. And then I would hesitate and put it back down, and everyone knew that I was like waiting to give some big speech. And I wanted to be really objective in it, so I guess I was overthinking it. To say, and then at one point the teacher was talking to someone else, and they started talking about gluten. And it was some kid who knew more than the teacher, and he had to point out to her that gluten was the protein itself in wheat, and that also every living thing is made of protein. So it was odd when people say, "Where do you get protein?" And then he pulled out a big plate of poofy looking ribbon-like material and said, "Here, look, this is it. It's stuff." And she went to like put it in a big bag, but everyone thought she was going to throw it in his face. So then there was only time left for one more comment, so she finally called on me, and I gave some big speech about, essentially eating meat, the debate on that. And I said pretty clearly, like the same way I would give this talk in general, the dream didn't make anything too weird come out of it on my end. And I was comparing an ancient culture that basically would have no choice other than to eat meat if they lived in the Arctic. Because I was saying that all you would have other than animals would be some sea vegetables, which would be a important part of their diet, but most of the diet would have to be animals. And I was saying how that would be one end of the spectrum, and the other end of the spectrum would be people eating veal. And I was saying how on that end, not only is it not necessary, but it completely comes out of sheer human selfishness, because they go to great ends, torturous ends, just to make something taste better. So human pleasure is totally elevated above the well-being of another creature that suffers for no other reason than human pleasure. And while I was doing this, some other kid in my class actually thought he was doing me a favor by trying to like cheerlead behind me. but it was really annoying me because it was distracting. And most other people got that too, and the teacher was trying to tell him to stop it, but he thought it was cool and tried to put his arm around me and the person next to me at the same time. It's pretty weird. Um, the class was starting to wrap up, and it was all a lot of distractions as I was giving it, but people were still listening. Someone else did something that must have um, been really distracting or something, and the teacher got mad at him. But while that happened, I went off the deep end on my veal rant and kept saying into the microphone how it was complete fucking bullshit that anyone would ever think that it was okay to torture an animal just to make it taste better. Not even to eat it, but to make it taste better. And it was funny because I was supposed to be back in grade school or high school or something, where you'd get in trouble for saying something like that. But I just said it several times, how it was complete bullshit. And speech went over well. And then I found myself walking back to my childhood home with some of the other kids, and then I found myself dreaming that I woke up in a bed that was in the front yard of my childhood home, and I was looking for my phone so that I could do what I'm doing right now and start this project of recording myself, but thought it was weird that I was outside and it was daylight, and there was also a light on, like a lamp outside. But then I finally found my phone and was going to do it, but then, of course, I actually woke up, realized that I had not actually woken up the first time, and that it was still night.